out of jail.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Like, yeah, I know my brother passed and I didn't get to say goodbye to him, and that haunted me for like a long time.
for real.
But yeah, cause he passed from complications from sickle cell, and he
he had sickle cell too.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And so he got sick, and I remember like a couple weeks before that, he was like, we would talk all the time, and he was like, yeah, I feel like I'm getting sick, I can feel it coming on, and he was like, I just need to like do something exertive, like exert some, like do some exercise or go rollerblade, because sometimes like physical things like that will cause an onset, and so a couple weeks later, in the middle of the night, he ended up going to the hospital, and it was a bad situation. His girlfriend took him, and she was kind of timid, because if somebody's sick, I'm like, let's go.
Right.
If you could look at somebody and tell they're real sick, it's like, come on, let's go.
Right.
You're not gonna stay home. And so by the time that they called the ambulance to come get him, his lips were blue, and so he ended up passing that night. And like, I didn't even find out about it until the next morning. But I know his spirit was reaching out to me, because I just kept waking up all night. Like, I could hear the phone ringing, and I looked, and ain't no call, And so I knew that was his spirit reaching out to me. And the next morning, my mother showed up at my door at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I could like tell by looking on her face, and I just knew.
Okay.
So yeah, and so yeah, that haunted me for like the longest, like not being able to say goodbye, not being able to be there with him, because whenever either of us were sick in the hospital, we were right there for each other. And so that kind of hurt me a lot, and it took a while to get over it, and just over his passing period, because he was young. He was not even 30 years old. He was newly married. He had a young son. He was estranged from his wife, but he had a girlfriend. The girlfriend was pregnant. So, the daughter, my niece, never met him,
Right.
And then his wife's son does not even remember him, because he was like a baby, less than a year. So that was just a real hard situation. It kind of broke the family up too, with the women, they, yeah. But yeah, that was tough. But yeah. And also just like going back to what you were saying about like your being in high school and losing virginity and all of that, I think was kind of like my first love. I think that was something that kind of was an issue between us, because he wasn't my first, but my first was from rape. So
what? Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow. So that was kind of hard. Like, he knew about it, but young people, they kind of insensitive almost, and kind of like, well, why don't you talk about it? Tell your father, tell this person, tell that person, and like, I really didn't even tell anybody for years and years. It was just something that um, that I had to deal with, get over, went to therapy, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was a major issue for a while.
It wasn't a family member, or
it wasn't a family member, but it was a friend. It was a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend in high school, and she was, I won't say she was fast, but she had a boyfriend. They were having sex, and my mother was the type that she wouldn't let me go spend the night over anybody's house unless she knew that person.
Right.
And so she had faith in this girl's mother, but little did they know, this girl was kind of, the mom would work nights, the boyfriend would come over, that type of thing. And so I was spending the night one night, and the boyfriend came over, and the boyfriend had somebody with him. And so, that's how the situation happened. And so, So yeah.
Wow. So, you didn't no consequences. Then
No consequences. Nope.
okay.
Nope. Yeah.
Did you ever run across that person again?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. And it was years and years later. And, you know, he apologized. He was saying he was young and, you know, he didn't understand that no means no. And he thought because I associated with her that I was kind of on the same thing, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But it wasn't so he didn't beat you up or nothing.
He didn't beat me up or
just forced
anything,
himself
but
on you.
he just forced himself on me, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What about your friend? Did you tell her?
Yeah, she knew, but then even her, we weren't like, I think she assumed that I was active too, you know, but I wasn't. She figured it out because, like, you know, if you're a virgin, you know, you're gonna be able to tell, you know, this blood, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So she, you know, she was like, "Wow, it's your first time," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "No, I didn't want to," you know. And she was like, "Oh, that's, you know,
that wasn't her boyfriend. It wasn't her boyfriend.
It was her boy. It wasn't her boyfriend. It was her boyfriend's friend, a guy that had come over with the boyfriend.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
So you wasn't spiritual then. You didn't participate in Dharma.
No, back then I was finding my way, you know, to tell you the truth. And then yeah, after that I was even more lost for a while. So I had to really examine things and go deep and, you know, forgive myself, forgive him. Because like for some women, at least for me, you know, I held a lot of guilt. You know, I was like, well, maybe it was my fault too, because, you know, I could have did this, I could have did that, I could have, would have, should have, you know. And so, yeah, so I had to forgive myself, move on.
And how long between that and the real first time?
And the real first time, it was like a year. It was like a year. Okay. Or maybe even a little bit more. But because I had a boyfriend at the time, and that was the thing. So that was, you know, it was hard, you know.
But that was the same boyfriend that became the first?
Yeah. Yeah. The first that I actually, you know, yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, could be. So does that affect the style of interaction?
What do you mean style?
You know how, you know, it's kind of like I'm trying to tread lightly because I know, you know, you're spiritual, so I assume you dealt with it. So now I was saying, does that affect like the style? Like, you know, sometimes people that do it or become victims of it, like it rough or forceful, you know, like that. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, does it affect? You prefer it slow, so don't, you know what I mean? So don't press any buttons of back then.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think that it doesn't affect the style, like, you know, to tread lightly. You know, it doesn't affect the style. But I just had to heal from that, you know. So it took some years to heal from that, to become comfortable with myself, to become trusting of, you know, my partner, you know. So, but it did affect trust. You know, it spilled over into trust issues with other people, like, you know, trying to just have that trust in them that not only are they not going to break my heart, but, they're not gonna
proceed when you not in that mode.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of like thankful to lose my virginity at 9.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I was like, I probably would be gay if I hadn't. That's the only thing I can assume. You know what I mean? When you grow up the only child, you know what I mean?
Now at 9, what could you really do at 9 or what?
Man, my thing was hard back then too.
Really?
You seen the little babies. Come on now.
That's true. That's true.
That shit works
true.
every day, every morning. Every morning, babies to grown men, okay?
Yeah.
Unless you got erectile dysfunction. That sucker wakes up.
Yeah.
Like,
and that really did like shock me as a mother. I'm like, those little babies. Like,
yeah. Like when I say my son thing, I was like, okay, son, you trust me, you ain't gonna have to take a lot off. So you gonna be all right. You shouldn't be taking a lot of stuff off these women when you grow up. You're very blessed. Like your shit,
you like, that's my boy.
That's my boy. Your shit bigger than grown men, son. I'm trying to tell you, you all right. Hey, at 11, you good.
Right. You like, you gonna make it in the world.
I knew it when you was born. I was like, oh, okay. That nigga thing was hard out the gate. I told the doctor, I said, make sure you clip the right piece, okay?
Right. Be careful.
It's not an umbilical cord there.
Right. You like the force is strong with this one.
It's not an umbilical cord. Don't cut that one, Slim.
Yeah.
Gotta hold that one down. Make sure you snip the one that's attached to the insides of the mama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The miracle of life.
Right, no bull. Hey, man. Once you get in that spirituality, you already know. It all starts with the woman. The cosmic juices, waters of life, rather. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Like they say, it's so good that even women want it. They hogging their own shit.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? For sure.
The times we living in.
That's a daily. What was one of your subject matters?
One of mine was transition. It was like sex magic, like the video, the IG video I just did, right. Because that's what kind of got me thinking about it. But yeah, it is a science. A lot of people laugh, but anytime you're having sex, you are creating something.
Exactly.
Whether it's a baby or it's a tie, it's connections, it's and you taking on the spirit of that other person. Their anger, their happiness, their joy, their creativity, their darkness. Whatever it is transferring to you. That's some strong, powerful energy. When a man and a woman come together. And even they say like dopamine is given off in the brain and all of this kind of stuff. You are wiring neurological pathways, and connections, and your brain is connecting you to this person. So it's best to harness the energy or to use it wisely, and definitely using it wisely, right. Because everybody has needs, but you don't want to go around just, feeding your needs with just anybody, because
manifesting little spiritual monsters and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much,
Yeah, that's a tough. It scared people. It scared I'm like, man, it's I ain't trying to just be doing it and trying to manifest something.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I guess it's scary for the person that's not, into that. But you're doing it for free anyway.
Yeah.
For leisure.
Mm-hmm.
On the opposite end, as above, so below.
Yeah. So you might as well create something out of it, something positive. Like you said, manifest something.
Yeah. Let's practice manifesting.
Exactly. We're gonna give birth to something.
Right. Looking at my pockets, running up my bills. Like, do some magic. Yeah, that ain't.
Yep.
Like I was.
But
that's the first thing I wanted to try. What's in my internet? Oh, yeah. That's because I'm live streaming.